Anyway, hello. Yeah, so I've been making music for quite some time for the last couple of years. It's been really fun. Uh, I've done many different genres and styles and have sat in different pockets of styles of music. Everything from, oh yeah, I think I want to do drum and bass to, I want to do house. And then where I am currently was just all kinds of music, but mainly bass music. Um, And what I realized with a lot of it is going through these different pockets of genres and going through these different avenues and things like that, and where I actually want to make music, I realized that, I feel like I've been just kind of looking at music the wrong way and just making music the wrong way. I think a lot of artists do this as well. They find a road of music that's successful and then they kind of follow that. And they end up finding what they're looking for, I think, for a while until the industry decides, no, this is not as popular. This is what's popular now. And then many artists, especially newer or younger artists, they typically go and lean towards that new open door avenue. And then they call it creative and they say, oh, I'm just testing creative freedom. And that could be true. I also understand the state of the economy, and I do understand as well that everybody needs to eat. And so I'm not necessarily mad at it, but I just think that it's cool to be honest. Just be real. Just be like, oh, the house wasn't working, but you know what's working? The 140 BPM's working. I think I'm gonna do that instead because that's the most popular thing that's happening. And the train that I was riding is starting to stop. As we see with some artists, I think that the type of music they were making was trying to stop. You see a lot of the larger big room artists, for example, that were doing the big room, big buildups and stuff like that. I'm starting to notice that there is now a switch over from what was once big room, boom, boom, to now switching to slowly transitioning to techno, bit like the big room techno, if you want to call it, which is just techno, with more emphasis on a heavy kick. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it that. And then more industrial maybe, and then you kind of are leaning towards that, and some are switching towards, we're doing more of hard style and rave music, more upbeat, fast tempo, and this is partially why I say it's all really the same thing. Like it really is. Like all of it's the same thing. It's very similar to people saying, all roads lead to crab. It's the same thing with the music. Like all roads lead to house music. You know what I'm saying? It all leads back to either 140 or the 128 BPM. It's all the same thing. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. And I think it's just very interesting how I've watched different artists transition with a span of about 10 to 15 years in order to stay relevant. Transition to different genres that are either growing in popularity or, I guess just they felt a musical shift. And I always think that that's very interesting to me because at the end of the day and at the end of our lives, it's kind of like, what impact did we actually make? And myself personally, I don't want to be the artist that said, oh, I just kept switching genres because I didn't truly believe in the music. I chased pockets. I chased dollars. I chased fame. I chased popularity. Because all, like, chasing the genres will get you there quicker. But what impacts people, I think, the most is your vulnerability, your openness, and your willingness to grow and your willingness to be different and put other people on game. And so I just think that that's very interesting to me, just kind of that whole transition with music. And to me, I think that's why I've been making music wrong for a while, because for a while I was looking at different genres. I'm like, I want to make that. I want to do that. I want to do that. But I have to be honest. I have to be real and realize, like, I am a weirdo. I am a freak. I can't stick with just one thing. That's why I make everything. I make all kinds of stuff. I really lean towards bass music because bass music and house can kind of transition between the two. It really can, honestly, in my opinion. And I just, what I'm saying, I don't want to go into these different avenues and try to follow a path. At the same time as bass music, I also really love hardstyle music. Like, hardstyle is so awesome. And although I feel like in the last couple of years it's gotten really stale, I think it's still really fun. I was listening to some tracks yesterday that weren't too bad, that weren't made too long ago, and I'm like, man, some of this still hits, some of this still slaps. It's really awesome. And so, you know, yeah, I think you should make whatever you want to make. And I think new artists should make what they want to make. I think they're being fed this thing that I'm going to talk about in another subject, in another place later, um, on what to make. But I think just make what you really like, and don't worry so much about the musical arena and what's happening there. Just make what you like and push it forward, you know. And eventually you'll find what actually makes sense for you, and you'll find what actually flows. And it's not going to be what feeds your pockets the most. It's going to be what gives you the most fulfillment. Peace. Oh yeah, like and subscribe and all that.